Alright, well, I thought I was going to do a playoff prediction today because I feel like a lot of people are getting it kind of mixed up. So this weekend's going to be really determining, having it be the wild card. I know a lot of people have already done this, but this happens every single year. So I just wanted to participate in it because I feel like a lot of people might be getting it kind of wrong. I'm not going to waste any of your guys' time. I'm going to get straight into it with my playoff predictions. If you don't want to be a part of it, you could leave right now because the door is over there. Just kidding, but if you really want to click off, I don't blame you because it's sports and a lot of people are kind of iffy about sports and how they're played. So we'll see how this goes. All right, well, we got a 2025 playoff bracket right here, and I'm going to start off with the NFC side first and work our way from there. First game I'm going to talk about is the Vikings versus Rams, which I think this is going to be a very good game, don't get me wrong. But I do see a lot of holes in both of them teams, and especially with people being questionable, how the Vikings played against the Lions, that's a big question mark. However, I do think Sam Darnold is going to really perform in the playoffs. I don't think that he's going to be terribly bad like people somehow say because, I mean, look at how he was for this entire season. He's been proving people wrong, how he was going to be bad this whole season, but now look at him now. Kevin O'Connell is an absolute genius. I think he should get Coach of the Year for how well he's played this team and how he's worked with his uses. However, the Rams are absolutely lethal, and I think the main reason why they're lethal is because Sean McVay. Sean McVay is an absolute genius. He's brilliant, and I think that he is really good at making sure that he can win those games. There is not one team in this league who says, yeah, we can beat the Rams, no easy, no problem, which I feel like is a real danger factor in the playoffs for teams going against the Rams. That being said, they both have holes, and I honestly think the Rams are going to end up on top on this one. I do think it's going to be very close, and I think one slip up from Sam Darnold is going to cost it. I think it's going to be 24-21 Rams winning it. Quick disclaimer, if you hear me sniffling a lot, it's because I'm not that great right now. I'm kind of sick, so please bear with me. Okay. Next, we got the Commanders versus the Bucks, and I honestly think that this is kind of weird because a lot of people are going with the Bucks, which personally I don't agree with. I think the Commanders are a very good team. Even though Jalen Daniels is his first time going into the playoffs as a rookie, I still think he's going to do great. I mean, look at CJ Stroud last year. He absolutely went to the floor against the Browns, I think it was, where he won cleanly against them in the playoffs, which I think Jaden Daniels will do against the Bucks. I have nothing against the Bucks. I am really proud of what they've been able to do with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans getting that record that he just got recently. But I think Jaden Daniels is absolutely lethal, and Terry McLaurin is an absolute beast. He's been underrated. I loved him ever since he entered the league. I just see really high hopes for the Commanders. I think that they're a really good team, and I think people are really underestimating them. I think it's going to be a 7-point game, 24-31, Commanders winning it. Next, we got Packers versus Eagles, and this one I don't think is going to be too close of a game, to be honest. I think it's about to be like 24-10. And I think it's going to be the Eagles who absolutely come on top. I think there's too many question marks with the Packers. They've gone too many injuries, and that's really going to cost them in the playoffs. Now, it's hard to count out Matt LaFleur because I think he's an absolute great coach. I feel like the Eagles are just more stacked overall. They got Saquon, Jalen Hurts. They got Super Bowl caliber team written all over them. I believe in Jordan Love, but I just think that they're not going to be able to do it against this Eagles offense and their defense, who's really good. I do think the Packers could try to bring up a fight that more people think, but I think it'll absolutely be crushed once the Eagles score in the fourth quarter, and they know they're not going to be coming back from this one. Moving on to the AFC, we're going to start with the Chargers and Texans, which is really disappointing to me because if you asked me this matchup at the beginning of the year, I would have said Texans easily, but this time I'm going with the Chargers. Texans just have way too many question marks. They're injured, and CJ Stroud is not playing his best game. Even though I think he will get back to it by next year, he's just not right now. Plus, with Harbaugh being Harbaugh, he will able... Wow, my English just gave up on me real quick. Anyways, I think Harbaugh will be able to stop him with the Chargers defense. Justin Herbert's going to go off. He really wants this. I can tell he does because he's tired of losing in the wild card like he did against the Jags. I think the Chargers will be on top. I feel like the Texans are too much of a question mark in this playoffs. A lot of people think that they'll be able to turn it on in the playoffs. I don't think they will. Ultimately, I have the Chargers winning in sort of a blowout. As in sort of, I think it will be about like 21-10, which isn't really a blowout, but it's more points than you would expect the Texans to put up. Next, we got Steelers versus Ravens, and I really think that this can be a really good game. But then again, Steelers are always that team that make it to the wild card and absolutely lose every single time. I mean, they've been in this position too many times before. This is exactly why I don't think it will be any different where the Ravens are going to end up on top on this one. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, their defense is absolutely insane. They are Super Bowl caliber team right there. And I just feel like the Steelers just can't do it. There's a question mark at the quarterback position with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, where not so much of who's going to start, of who's going to be able to be a better impact for the game. I think they'll probably switch it in back and forth with how well it's going to be going, but ultimately that's not going to work against this Ravens defense. I think they're really going to struggle in this one, which is why I do not see the Steelers winning whatever and whatsoever. I don't think anyone has the Steelers winning this first one, and if they do, they will shock the world, I will tell you that. I think this one won't be too close. I'm calling 31-17 Ravens winning easily, because I just don't see them putting up too much of a fight against the Steelers. It sounds like an accurate score to me. Now we got the Broncos versus the Bills, which I think this game will be closer than people expect, because the Bills want it so bad, because I know Josh Allen wants it really bad, but I feel like just their roster in general is a little bit lacking. However, so is the Broncos. The Broncos have a bit of question marks, as in I've been saying that for every team, but this team just somehow can't put it together all the way. I do believe in Sean Payton, but then again, he's just not going to bring him to there, and we've seen it before, as in last year, that he hasn't had a very fixed team, but still, I don't see him beating the Bills, because the Bills are an absolute stacked team. They are playoff Super Bowl contenders. Do I think the defense is going to step up? Yes, and I feel like this will be uncomfortably close for them. I think it'll either be 20-30 or 20-28. It's going to be really close, and I don't like how close it's going to be, and I'm going to be out of my seat when I watch this game, I feel like. And props to Bo Nix for getting them this far along with Sean Payton. Alright, now we're going on to the divisional round, which is for the NFC Commanders versus Lions, and I think no one's disputing. What word did I just say? I'm just going to blame that on the sickness. I was going to say no one is disregarding how good the Lions are and how they'll be able to beat the Commanders without any problems. I think they're going to really set their standard and really give Jaden Daniels a wake-up check, as in, this is welcome to the playoffs. We're the Lions. We're going to stomp you, and we're not going to hold back. This one I think is going to be 31-13, Lions winning in a big blowout, and I do believe in the Commanders to really try to put up a fight in the beginning. As soon as that second half goes, they're going to be gone. Jahmyr Gibbs is absolutely impossible to stop. Jared Goff has been playing the best football he has been. I remember seeing him play against the Seahawks where he went to a perfect game, which is absolutely insane. I just don't see them slowing down. I think the Lions are easily going to win this one by far. Now we got Rams versus Eagles, and I think this will be a really good game. People want to see this game. People pay tickets to see this game. But I think it'll be a little disappointing. I don't think it'll be as close as people think it will be. I do see the final score being about 17-24, where the Eagles will win it, or even 17-27 to a 7-10 point game. I just think it'll be a little bit boring and a little slow to pick up back its speed of being super intense. I just feel like the Rams haven't been playing their absolute best, as we see, but you can never count them out, as I said. And for the Eagles, they have just been dominant all year, and they've shown that they can be dominant. They showed that they can win. And even though I do not like Nick Sirianni, I mean, who does? Do you think the Eagles will end up on top for this one? Because they just have a stacked roster, and they've been there before. They know how to take care of teams, and they know how to get it done. Now, moving on to the AFC Championship. This is another one where this isn't going to be too close either. I mean, I think the Chargers will scare the Chiefs a little bit at first, going up 10-0, but I don't think the Chiefs are going to take that lightly. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is kind of like his different person of Tom Brady, where you can never count him out. I feel like the Chargers will go up 10-0, feel pretty good, maybe even get a safety on them, which would be pretty surprising. Ultimately, I feel like they'll be able to show why they're the Chiefs and why they want to go for that three-peat that they've been wanting. I see them winning in a good 28-13. You know they're going to want to shut up all the people who said that they barely won those games, and you know that they're going to be coming for a vengeance and showing why they're Mr. Three-Peat. Now, as for the Ravens and Bills, this is going to be the best divisional matchup of the whole entire 2025 playoffs, which, as you can see, against all these other ones, the Ravens vs. Bills is going to be an absolute clash of the Titans. I think this will go back and forth, just like that amazing Chiefs versus Bills game where it came down to the last wire. I do see this game going into overtime. I see this game ending in 28-35 and having the one and only, who do I think is going to win? Ravens take the dub, and I think that they will be able to beat the Bills in this time. Absolutely kills me to say it, not because I'm a Bills fan, but mainly because Josh Allen comes so close every single time, and you really think that he's going to get it this time, but I just do not see him performing against the Ravens in the playoffs. Ravens have made absolutely crazy moves, and I think the Bills can be just as good, but I don't see them beating the Ravens because their offense and defense is not able to compare against the Ravens. I mean, like, come on now. I think it'll be hard to stop. I do think it'll go to overtime because Josh Allen wants that win so much, but I think Lamar Jackson wants it even more because he was so close last year, and man, my English cannot English right. I think they're going to want it more. Derrick Henry wants it. Lamar wants it. They all want it, and I think that's why the Ravens are going to prevail. Man, I'm looking at this and looking at my own championship, and I feel like this year is going to be an absolute banging year for the playoffs. Let's get this going. We got the Lions versus the Eagles, and man, what a showdown we want to see. This is going to be absolute crazy because I know the Eagles want it so bad. I know the Lions want it so bad. I know they both want it. I know Dan Campbell wants it. I know Nick Sirianni wants to talk crap to the Lions fans. Shoot, maybe even his own fans. That's the way he's talking. I mean, they're both sacked. Jahmyr Gibbs versus Saquon. Jared Goff versus Jalen Hurts. Lions might even have Aiden Hutchinson come back, which would be absolutely game-changing. So I can see going back and forth and ultimately end up in the last 5 minutes. Overall, I think this could go into overtime or a game-winning field goal, 35-38. My pick is Detroit Lions making it to the Super Bowl for I think the very first time, and I feel like Dan Campbell can get them there, and I'm so happy to say that. Do you think the Lions are just a better team? I think they want it enough. If they don't get there this year, I will be very upset because they need it to happen more than anybody. This would be absolutely monumental to see this game, and I really hope it happens. I really hope I'm right because I think the Lions can win it, but the Eagles are just as stacked. I see them winning it as well, but hopefully we get that Lions Super Bowl. Now moving on to the Chiefs versus Ravens. That's going to be an AFC matchup, which I am excited for because I know Lamar wants it. I know Patrick Mahomes wants his three-peat, but ultimately it's going to come down to those last plays. Will Zay Flowers choke again? Will he even be ready and be uninjured? Who knows? But I think it will come down to who is this better team, who's better on paper, who's better on the field, who's shown that they can make it. And ultimately, I feel like that's not a surprise for who I'm going to choose. Because I'm going to choose the Ravens to win it. I think they snap the Chiefs. I think they get that win. I think Lamar finally does it. I think he can finally get there. I could have seen the Bills getting there as well. If they end up beating the Ravens, I do see the Bills doing it as well. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do it, mainly because of the question marks in the regular season. I feel like the Ravens are so stacked. They want it so bad. And I think that's why they're going to get this win. I really feel it this time. But I can also see the Chiefs absolutely ruining my dreams. And I think this game will come down to the last minutes as well. I think it'll be 24-27, Ravens winning it. I feel like Justin Tucker will prevail. He'll show that he has still got it in the tank and that he has had a down year, but he can still make those game-winning field goals. Now the stage is set. Ravens versus the Lions, which I feel like would be absolutely a showdown. This one would be for the ages. It would be like versus the Bengals and Lions. It would be like the Seahawks versus Patriots. This is going to be a showdown, and the lights are all pointed at the coaches, at the players, at everybody. That halftime show with Kendrick Lamar is going to be absolutely amazing. Both these teams are absolutely stacked. They both want it so bad, and I feel like one team is going to be disappointed at the end of the day. We have to look at them. Their offenses both absolutely lethal. Their defenses are both lethal. I feel like this is going to be one of the matchups we will remember for the decade, and we will chill. Man, my English is not working. All right, got a little bit riled up. My sickness is really getting to me. But both of these teams deserve it. They both want it. They both need it. But I feel like the one team who's gonna win and who is going to prevail is the Detroit Lions. Lions are my absolute Super Bowl winners, and I feel like that they'll have that juice to kick it in and really get what they want and really get what's going. Lamar will get down, but he's going to want it even more next year. See this ending in an absolute crash. I see it being 28-24 Lions winning, getting that last touchdown and having their defense able to stop Lamar Jackson. And that is going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you agree with me. Tell me if you think I'm right. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. But I will catch you in the next one. I'll see you later.